What if the most famous assassination in history simply failed, and Julius Caesar lived to finish what he started? Imagine a Rome that never fractured, an empire built by its founder's hand, not the chaos of civil war that followed his death. Picture Caesar's legions crossing the Euphrates into Parthia, the campaign he planned but never launched, reshaping Asia forever. But let's go back. March 15th, 44 BC, the day history balanced on a knife's edge. By 44 BC, Julius Caesar had conquered Gaul, crossed the Rubicon, defeated Pompey, and been named Dictator Perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity. He had plans that dwarfed anything Rome had seen. A Parthian campaign to avenge Crassus, canal projects, a new capital, legal codification. But the Senate seethed. Men like Brutus and Cassius saw a king where Caesar saw a reformer. Their fear was real, their conspiracy deadly. 23 senators joined the liberators, self-styled liberators. Each would draw blood. They called the day the Ides of March. Caesar arrived without his usual bodyguard. Mark Antony had been detained outside by Trebonius, one of the conspirators, by design. A soothsayer had warned Caesar, "Beware the Ides of March." He walked past him that morning, dismissive. History rarely announces itself. This was Caesar's Rome, master of the entire Mediterranean basin, from Hispania to Egypt, Gaul to Syria, an empire waiting to be formalized. Inside the chamber, Caesar took his seat. The conspirators gathered around him under the pretense of presenting a petition. Tilius Cimber seized Caesar's toga. The first dagger drawn was by Casca. It grazed Caesar's neck, but did not kill. And then, chaos. In our timeline, Caesar fell at the base of Pompey's statue, stabbed 23 times. He wrapped his toga around himself and died with dignity. But in our alternate timeline, Casca's first strike goes wide. Caesar catches the dagger hand. He does not fall. Caesar roars for his lictors. The conspirators, their element of surprise gone, scatter. Marcus Brutus drops his blade and runs. Mark Antony, alerted by the screaming, forces his way past Trebonius. He finds Caesar alive, wounded, furious, and utterly transformed. Within hours, Caesar's loyal legions under Lepidus encircle Rome. The conspirators are arrested before sunset. The Liberators' Republic is over. Caesar spares Brutus once. He understands the symbolism. Executing Rome's most admired citizen would have made a martyr. Instead, exile to Macedon. Cassius, Cimber, and Casca are less fortunate. Caesar makes examples of them. Crucifixion along the Appian Way serves Rome a warning. Caesar now moves to consolidate with no pretense left. In 43 BC, he formally accepts the title Rex, King. Rome's republic is officially finished. Cleopatra VII arrives in Rome with their son Cesarean, now Caesar's acknowledged heir. For the first time, Rome has a dynastic succession. In 42 BC, Caesar launches his long-planned Parthian campaign. 6 legions cross the Euphrates. The mission Crassus died attempting in 53 BC. The Parthians under Herodotus II meet Caesar at Carrhae, the same plains where Crassus was destroyed. This time, the result is different. Within 18 months, Caesar has taken Ctesiphon, the Parthian capital. Herodes II flees east. Rome's eastern frontier moves to the Tigris River. Caesar returns to Rome in 40 BC, 60 years old, victorious, unchallenged. He begins the administrative reforms he has planned for a decade. He codifies Roman law, standardizes citizenship across the empire, and begins construction of the Julian Canal, linking Rome to the Adriatic directly. Octavian, Caesar's great-nephew and formerly named heir, watches all this as a subordinate. In this timeline, he never becomes Augustus. Caesar dies in 30 BC, at 73, in his bed, still dictating letters. Cesarean succeeds him. Rome's first true monarchy is underway. Cesarean, son of Caesar and Cleopatra, inherits both Rome and Egypt. For the first time in history, one ruler controls the entire Mediterranean basin. Without Augustus's settlement of 27 BC, Roman culture develops differently. The Principate never forms. Rome remains openly a monarchy from the start. The Parthian conquest changes trade forever. The Silk Road's western terminus is now Roman. No middlemen. Roman merchants reach India directly. Without the chaos of civil war following Caesar's death, no Antony versus Octavian, no Actium, Rome avoids 50 years of devastating internal conflict. By 1 AD, a century after the pivot, the Julian Empire stretches from the British Isles to the Indus Valley. No comparable empire has ever existed. Christianity still emerges in Judea, but in a stable, powerful Julian Empire, it faces a very different political landscape. It does not become the state religion. With no Emperor Constantine in this timeline, no Edict of Milan. Christianity competes equally with Mithraism, the Julian cult, and Eastern mystery religions. Direct Roman trade with India accelerates technological exchange. By 200 AD, the Julian Empire has paper, advanced mathematics, and early printing concepts from China. The Julian Empire never splits east and west. Without that fracture, the fall of Rome scenario of our 476 AD simply does not occur. The Huns still arrive from the steppe in the 370s, but a unified Julian Empire repels Attila's ancestors without the existential crisis our Rome faced. But power has its own corruptions. By 500 AD, the Julian dynasty has grown remote and despotic. Provincial revolts begin, first in Gaul, then Syria. The revolts are suppressed, but the Julian Empire decentralizes, becoming a commonwealth of regions under nominal Roman sovereignty by 600 AD. Without Islam's 7th century expansion into a power vacuum, because there is no vacuum, Arabia remains a prosperous province on the empire's periphery. By 1000 AD, the Julian Commonwealth has achieved what we would call an early Renaissance. Printing, organized science, proto-industrial water power. By 1500 AD, the Julian Commonwealth has preempted Europe's age of exploration. It already reaches India by land. The Americas remain unknown to it. In this alternate present, the Americas are a world apart, never colonized by Europe because European history took a completely different shape. Sub-Saharan Africa, never destabilized by the Atlantic slave trade, follows its own trajectory. The Mali and Songhai empires persist and expand unmolested. The Julian Commonwealth of our alternate present is culturally rich and decentralized, somewhat like the European Union, but 2,000 years older. If you love rewriting history, subscribe to the Counterfact. We explore a new alternate timeline every week. What moment should we tackle next? Of course, none of this happened. The daggers found their mark, 23 wounds, and from that blood, our actual world was born. History turns on single moments. Subscribe to the Counterfact, where we ask the question history never got to answer. New episodes every week.